For centuries, the Vatican has been more than a religious epicenter. It has been a symbol of influence, wealth, and untold secrets. Beneath the grandeur of St. Peter's Basilica and the solemnity of papal rituals, an undercurrent of whispers persists. Whispers of secret societies, satanic rituals, and connections to the shadowy elite. How did these theories begin? And why, in an age of information, do they continue to capture our imagination? This video is not just a story about the Vatican. It's about the power of belief and the allure of the forbidden. Conspiracy theories thrive in the shadows of institutions like the Church, where centuries of secrecy and ritual have left fertile ground for speculation. Whether it's the Illuminati's supposed infiltration or whispers of dark ceremonies hidden beneath Vatican City, we'll explore what lies at the heart of these enduring mysteries. To understand these theories, we must first appreciate the Vatican's historical role as more than a religious authority. Since its establishment, the Church has wielded immense influence, not just spiritually, but politically. Born out of the Roman Empire's ashes, it inherited the empire's networks, traditions, and some say its penchant for secrecy. From emperors to kings, the Vatican's power has shaped history. Its decisions have influenced wars, alliances, and revolutions. Yet, with power comes suspicion. And it's no wonder the Church has often found itself at the center of conspiracy theories. Let us journey through these allegations, not to prove or disprove, but to understand why they endure and what they reveal about humanity's collective psyche. As we begin this journey, keep one question in mind. Is the Vatican the guardian of divine truth, or is its power a veil for something darker? Through the lens of history, symbolism, and the human fascination with secrecy, we'll delve into the depths of these controversial claims. The truth, or what we make of it, may be far stranger than we dare to imagine. In 1776, amidst the Age of Enlightenment, a time of great intellectual upheaval and revolution, a young professor named Adam Weishaupt founded a secret society in Bavaria. Its purpose? To challenge the established order of monarchy and religion, advocating for reason, science, and liberty. This was the Bavarian Illuminati. A group that began with lofty ideals would, in time, become synonymous with hidden power and conspiracy. The Bavarian Illuminati wasn't about devil worship or world domination, not at first. It aimed to infiltrate positions of power to quietly reform society. They sought to dismantle superstition, abolish absolute monarchy, and liberate individuals from institutional oppression. Yet, their secrecy drew suspicion, and their growing influence alarmed the Bavarian government, leading to their suppression and official disbandment by the late 1780s. But suppression couldn't erase their legacy. As the Illuminati faded from history, their name took on a life of its own, becoming a symbol for hidden power. Conspiracy theorists revived the Illuminati as a shadowy cabal pulling the strings of governments and institutions. By the 19th century, they were no longer a reformist society. They were the unseen hand of global control, an idea that persists to this day. The Vatican, as a global institution with immense power, naturally became a target of these theories. How, conspiracy theorists ask, could an institution so wealthy, so secretive, and so steeped in ritual not be involved in the schemes of the Illuminati? The Church's historical role as a rival to Enlightenment ideals only deepened the suspicion. This intersection between the Vatican and the Illuminati is where history and imagination collide. Are the accusations of Vatican ties to the Illuminati mere paranoia, or could there be a deeper connection rooted in centuries of power struggles? As we move forward, we'll uncover the claims, the evidence, and the counter-arguments surrounding these enigmatic allegations. The Vatican has always been shrouded in mystery, but some claims veer far from the ordinary. Among the most chilling are accusations of secret satanic rituals taking place within the walls of the Holy See itself. Stories of black masses, hidden altars, and catacombs stained with the remnants of unholy ceremonies have captivated conspiracy theorists for decades. But where do these accusations come from, and how plausible are they? One of the earliest sources feeding these allegations is the concept of black masses, ceremonies that allegedly invert Catholic liturgy for satanic purposes. Conspiracy theorists claim that deep beneath Vatican City lies a labyrinth of secret chambers used for such rituals. While no hard evidence has ever been produced, the very existence of the Vatican's vast catacombs, many of which remain unexplored, fuels the imagination of those seeking sinister explanations. These theories are often bolstered by testimonies from individuals who claim to have first-hand knowledge of corruption within the Church. Figures like Malachi Martin, a former Jesuit priest and Vatican insider, and Paolo Gabriele, a papal butler-turned-whistleblower, have added fuel to the fire. Martin's writings allege the existence of satanic practices at the highest levels of the Church, while Gabriele's leaked documents pointed to financial corruption and a culture of secrecy. Malachi Martin was no stranger to controversy. He left the Church in 1964, citing ideological differences and his disillusionment with its internal politics. Over the years, he published a series of books, including Hostage to the Devil and Windswept House, which he claimed were based on his knowledge of the Vatican's inner workings. In these works, Martin alleged that a faction within the Church had secretly embraced satanic practices, even suggesting that a ritual referred to as the Enthronement of the fallen angel Lucifer had taken place in the Vatican in 1963. Though critics dismissed his accounts as sensationalized fiction, Martin's claims have since become a cornerstone for conspiracy theorists. His death in 1999, officially ruled as a result of a fall, only added to the mystique surrounding his revelations, with some speculating that he was silenced for knowing too much. Paolo Gabriele, often referred to as the butler who spilled the secrets, held a far less public role than Martin, but created an equally significant stir. As Pope Benedict XVI's personal butler, Gabriele had unparalleled access to sensitive documents in the Pope's daily life. In 2012, he leaked hundreds of classified Vatican papers to an investigative journalist, triggering the infamous Vatileaks scandal. The documents exposed internal corruption, financial mismanagement, and infighting within the Church hierarchy. Gabriele claimed his actions were motivated by a desire to reveal the truth and to help the Church reform itself. Arrested and tried by a Vatican tribunal, Gabriele was convicted of aggravated theft and sentenced to 18 months in prison. However, Pope Benedict later pardoned him. While his leaks focused on administrative corruption rather than satanic practices, conspiracy theorists often conflate his revelations with broader claims of dark secrets within the Church. While investigations, such as those into financial scandals like the Vatican Bank and abuse cover-ups, have uncovered corruption and negligence, no credible evidence has surfaced to confirm the existence of satanic networks. Yet these chilling stories continue to fuel public suspicion and deepen mistrust in the institution. The public's fascination with these accusations is deeply rooted in the tension between the Church's perceived sanctity and its historical secrecy. The Vatican's enigmatic rituals, concealed archives, and global influence make it a perfect target for conspiracy theories. For many, these stories provide a dark counter-narrative to the Church's moral authority, offering a lens to question power and truth. These allegations, true or not, reflect a broader cultural fascination with the forbidden and the unknown. They challenge our understanding of faith, power, and morality, whether driven by evidence, imagination, or mistrust. These claims highlight the fragile balance between belief and skepticism in the modern age. The papacy has long been a symbol of divine authority, but it has also been the focal point of countless conspiracy theories. Among the most provocative is the claim that certain popes were either aligned with or in conflict against secret societies like the Illuminati and Masonic lodges. These theories weave tales of power, corruption, and betrayal, creating a narrative where the Vatican becomes not just a spiritual center, but a battleground for control over global influence. The mysterious death of Pope John Paul I in 1978 is one of the most enduring threads in this web of theories. Elected during a tumultuous time for the Church, his papacy lasted only 33 days before his sudden and unexplained death. Conspiracy theorists allege that John Paul I had uncovered financial corruption tied to the Vatican Bank and its links to Masonic lodges, particularly the shadowy P2 Propaganda Due Lodge. Some claim he planned to expose these connections, but his abrupt death conveniently silenced him. Though officially attributed to a heart attack, the absence of an autopsy and discrepancies in Vatican accounts only deepened suspicions. The Vatican Bank itself has been a magnet for conspiracy theories, particularly due to its opaque operations and ties to scandals. Allegations of money laundering, connections to organized crime, and clandestine dealings with Masonic lodges like P2 have repeatedly surfaced. In the 1980s, the collapse of Banco Ambrosiano, a bank closely linked to the Vatican, sparked investigations that unearthed troubling financial ties. Figures like Roberto Colvi, dubbed God's banker, were found dead under mysterious circumstances, further fueling suspicions of a covert power struggle within the Church. Conspiracy theorists also point to the symbolism within the Vatican's architecture, rituals, and regalia as evidence of secret ties to the Illuminati. The papal tiara, with its triple crown, is seen as a symbol of worldly domination, while the all-seeing eye and pyramid motifs, allegedly hidden in Vatican art, are interpreted as Illuminati signals. Even the layout of St. Peter's Square, with its obelisk and radiating patterns, has been scrutinized for supposed esoteric meanings. These claims persist despite the lack of concrete evidence, largely because of the Church's long-standing association with secrecy and symbolism. Whether rooted in fact or fueled by imagination, these theories highlight a deep mistrust of institutions and a fascination with the hidden machinations of power. The Vatican's dual role as a spiritual and political entity makes it a natural focal point for such speculation. But are these allegations the result of centuries of secrecy, or do they point to something more tangible? As we continue, we'll examine the evidence and counter-arguments surrounding these claims. Conspiracy theorists often point to symbols hidden in plain sight as their smoking guns. The all-seeing eye, inverted crosses, pentagrams, these are said to appear in Vatican art, architecture, and even ceremonial regalia. For example, some claim the all-seeing eye is concealed within the intricate mosaics of St. Peter's Basilica, while others argue that inverted crosses, prominently displayed on papal chairs, symbolize allegiance to Satan rather than St. Peter. These symbols, they suggest, are coded messages to those in the know, revealing a hidden allegiance to darker forces. Adding to these claims are supposed confessions and leaked documents. Whistleblowers like Paolo Gabriele, whom we discussed earlier, have provided internal Vatican documents that reveal financial corruption and power struggles. But conspiracy theorists take these a step further, alleging that such leaks hint at deeper, more sinister practices. Others cite alleged confessions by former clergy members who claim to have participated in secret rituals. Yet for every piece of evidence, there are counter-arguments from historians, theologians, and church officials who dismiss these theories as baseless. Inverted crosses, for instance, are historically associated with St. Peter's martyrdom and are a symbol of humility, not satanic worship. The all-seeing eye, often linked to the Illuminati, has also appeared in Christian art for centuries as a symbol of God's omnipresence. Experts argue that these symbols are often misunderstood or deliberately misinterpreted to fit conspiratorial narratives. The role of misinformation and fear cannot be overlooked in fueling these theories. In the digital age, a single image or anecdote can spiral into an elaborate conspiracy. For instance, a misinterpreted photograph of a Vatican ceremony or a mistranslated document can become proof of sinister activity. Social media platforms amplify these claims, creating echo chambers where skepticism is dismissed and speculation becomes certainty. The secrecy inherent in the Vatican's operations only adds to this allure, leaving gaps that conspiracy theorists eagerly fill. Ultimately, these theories tell us more about human psychology than about the Vatican itself. They reflect, perhaps rightfully, our deep mistrust of powerful institutions and our fascination with uncovering hidden truths. Whether these claims are deliberate distortions, honest misunderstandings, or simply products of overactive imaginations, they continue to thrive in the intersection of mystery, power, and fear. The question remains, how much of what we believe is grounded in reality, and how much is born from our need to make sense of the unknown? Conspiracy theories thrive on the promise of hidden knowledge, a tantalizing glimpse behind the curtain of power. For many, the allure lies in the idea of uncovering a grand secret, one that explains the complexities of the world in a single, cohesive narrative. The Vatican, with its history, wealth, and influence, becomes the perfect setting for such stories. Its secret archives, ancient rituals, and impenetrable traditions evoke curiosity and suspicion in equal measure. Mistrust in institutions is another key driver of these theories. Throughout history, scandals involving the church and other political powers have eroded public faith, creating fertile ground for suspicion. When faced with corruption, abuse, or secrecy, people often look for explanations that go beyond the mundane. Conspiracy theories, while often implausible, offer a sense of control by providing a framework for understanding events that feel chaotic or unjust. Pop culture has played a crucial role in amplifying these ideas. Movies and books such as Angels and Demons and the Da Vinci Code weave fictional narratives around real symbols and places, blurring the line between fact and fiction. Internet memes and viral videos further fuel the fire, distilling complex conspiracies into digestible and often sensational sound bites. In this environment, the Vatican is not just a religious institution. It becomes a character in a global mystery, ripe for speculation. The Vatican's secretive nature only adds to its appeal. The legendary Vatican secret archives, rumored to contain suppressed gospels, evidence of extraterrestrial contact, and accounts of satanic rituals, become the perfect focal point for these theories. Its rituals, conducted in Latin and steeped in centuries-old tradition, seem impenetrable to outsiders. To conspiracy theorists, these elements suggest not reverence, but deliberate concealment, creating a cycle of speculation that feeds itself. Ultimately, these theories persist because they offer more than explanations. They provide a sense of intrigue, rebellion, and discovery. Believing in a grand conspiracy lets people feel like they're uncovering a forbidden truth, even if that truth is a fabrication. The Vatican, with its storied history and global influence, will likely remain at the heart of such narratives for generations to come, a symbol of both divine authority and human curiosity. Furthermore, throughout its long history, the Vatican has been a participant in, and sometimes a central player in, tumultuous global events. While its role as a spiritual leader is unquestioned by many, its actions in matters of war, politics, and finance have raised significant controversy. From the Crusades to modern financial scandals, these historical episodes provide fertile ground for conspiracy theories, blurring the line between fact and fiction. The Crusades, often framed as holy wars to reclaim Jerusalem, were heavily endorsed by the papacy. While portrayed as righteous campaigns, these wars were also driven by political ambitions and economic gain. The Church's role in authorizing the violence and its accumulation of wealth during these conflicts has been a source of criticism for centuries. For conspiracy theorists, this paints the Vatican as an institution willing to use its influence for power and control. The Inquisition is another dark chapter in the Vatican's history. Intended to root out heresy, it became infamous for its brutal methods and widespread fear. Torture, forced confessions, and executions left a legacy of terror that conspiracy theorists often link to modern accusations of control and suppression. Documents from the Inquisition, locked away in Vatican archives, are frequently cited as evidence of ongoing secrecy and manipulation. For many, these events lend credibility to broader, more fantastical claims, creating a feedback loop where truth and fiction intertwine, making it difficult to separate one from the other. In the end, these historical controversies create fertile ground for conspiracy theories to flourish. While many of the Vatican's actions can be explained by historical context, the secrecy and power associated with the institution often lead to more sinister interpretations. The interplay of real scandals and imaginative speculation ensures that the Vatican remains a symbol of both spiritual authority and shadowy intrigue. The Catholic Church's stance on Satanism and the occult is unequivocal. Rooted in centuries of theology, it views these practices as grave spiritual dangers that must be actively opposed. The Church officially recognizes the existence of demonic forces and the real threat they pose to individuals and communities. Through exorcism rites and doctrinal teachings, it has positioned itself as a defender against these perceived forces of darkness. Central to the Church's efforts against Satanism is the rite of exorcism, a formal, sacred ritual used to cast out demons believed to be possessing a person or place. Exorcisms date back to the early Church and are considered acts of spiritual warfare. While rare and performed only after thorough investigation, they reflect the Church's acknowledgement of supernatural evil. These dramatic rites have fueled popular depictions of Catholicism as an institution constantly grappling with demonic forces, often blurring the lines between theology and fiction. For centuries, it has condemned practices like witchcraft, divination, and sorcery as heretical and dangerous. During the medieval period, this opposition culminated in the persecution of individuals accused of practicing the dark arts. What's more, these efforts to combat heresy and occult practices have not always been purely theological. The Inquisition, for example, sought to suppress dissenting beliefs and practices, often conflating them with Satanism or devil worship. These campaigns of suppression created an enduring association between the Church and fear of the dark arts. Ironically, this has given rise to conspiracy theories claiming that the Church harbors secret knowledge of, or even alliances with, the forces it opposes. These narratives are further complicated by pop culture, which often portrays the Church as a gatekeeper of secret, forbidden knowledge. Films and novels depict priests and theologians battling hidden cults or unearthing arcane texts that hint at alliances with dark forces. While these portrayals are fictional, they contribute to the perception that the Church's secrecy masks something sinister. In reality, its secretive nature often reflects theological tradition and historical preservation rather than conspiracy. Ultimately, the Church's official stance on Satanism, and the occult positions it as an unyielding opponent of dark forces. However, its history of secrecy, coupled with its role in combating heresies and occult practices, has created a paradox where it is both defender and, in the eyes of conspiracy theorists, suspect. This dual perception ensures that the Catholic Church remains central to discussions of the battle between light and darkness, faith and fear. The Vatican stands as one of the most powerful and enigmatic institutions in the world. Its influence stretches across centuries, continents, and cultures. With its immense wealth, vast archives, and carefully guarded traditions, it is little wonder that it continues to captivate imaginations and inspire countless theories. Whether viewed as a beacon of faith or a fortress of secrecy, the Vatican's global presence ensures that it remains at the center of both reverence and suspicion. In a world where faith and skepticism often collide, the Vatican represents this tension in its purest form. To millions, it is the ultimate symbol of divine authority, guiding the faithful through a turbulent world. To others, its wealth, power, and secrecy invite questions and provoke doubt. This faithful devotion on one side and inquisitive suspicion on the other ensures that the Vatican remains an enduring mystery. In its shadows lie stories that spark both reverence and doubt, inviting us to explore what may never fully be revealed. Whatever the answer, the stories, symbols, and secrets of the Vatican ensure that its mystery will endure, beckoning those who seek the truth and those who question it. Thanks for watching. What do you think about the claims and conspiracies we've explored? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Like this video if it got you thinking, and share it with those who dare to question. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss another dive into the unknown. And if you're ready for more, explore our other videos to uncover even more mysteries. Until next time, may the light guide you through the shadows of the unknown.